Alright, so I have returned back to the Monulite SMP, and I have been very busy lately. And oh, he gave me some Acro coins. Thanks, Loyalist. But, um, I just know that I'm still trying to think of what to do, which is something for over here. So I was thinking about doing something with this machinery. And since I can't really actually, it's something where I can make a machine that automatically makes casings, or I could probably make something that automatically makes strip logs. So if I want to use it just to make a ton of andesite casings, then I can. But I think for the andesite casings, um, what can I make with those? More gears, and gear shafts. But it still seems like the andesite farm I still got to do manually by collecting as much flint and gravel. But I think my idea is make some upgrades to this farm here, because since I'm looking at me using actual rotation force, because I am using kinetics, of course, but I want to see if we can use like wind energy from the wind, because that's pressure. Because we can try to use all this stress for a whole nother assembly line instead of it just being just set to like one system or two systems. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do, what I'm going to go ahead and do, what I'm going to go ahead and do, right now I'm just thinking, we have to make a sail. Sorry, hit my mic. So sail. Okay, so how we make you? Okay, so this is a frame. Okay, so we need sticks, wool, and andesite alloy. Okay. So if that's the case, then I'm going to have to do something with that flax that I've been collecting. Also, I realized one thing too. I forgot to add the journey map mod. Oh, placed there? Okay. What's going on here? It says that I'm placing air. What's this? That is strange. And somebody's sending me a message on Discord. I think that's Legacy. Right now, I'm just recording my playthrough. I think this is for Farmer's Delight. And let me just put it in this window real quick. I just want to see what he messaged. Uh, we're still talking about that joke. It's more like an inside joke. But this is what happened so far. So what you see here is like a very massive roller. And what we did was we were just rolling a lot of this polished deep slate around, which it allows us to clear or to replace a lot of this with some proper flooring. But I'm really trying to figure out like what to put here. And the only thing I could think about is making something for alchemy, because maybe I could try to add some chemical engineering in this. I mean, it's quite interesting to learn chemical engineering since it's all about molecules, atoms, and just understanding how chemical processes work, because that's also interesting. And then we had to try to do something where we have to make a nether portal, but somehow we gotta probably make like two rail systems where one takes you to like the nether portal while the other kind of like takes you straight back, or and then somehow you gotta loop it all back around. It's gonna feel like very complicated unless I want to make like two nether portals just to you know, have like point A and point B, and it all loops back and such. It sounds quite complex, but it seems like you just gotta just do it, and then you can see it being real. So let me just get all the flax seeds because I know that the potatoes and the carrots, they're completely overflown. I mean, it would definitely require me to use vaults just to keep like a full stack of potatoes and carrots. Meaning I might as well just make some sort of food bank. Better yet, I think it might be an optional thing to do. Make like some sort of food bank and maybe just place it along this wall here where you have like carrots and potatoes. Because it seems like all I gotta do is just put them in there, and then I think it can be dispensed into the machine. I mean, it'd be kind of interesting though. Like you can like change the inputs and outputs. But my mind is just thinking. Right now we got all these potatoes. I mean, we have a lot of potatoes. Can we make like a potato? Okay. I mean, this is another way to like stay stock on it. Like we have so many potato crates. But you can see that that chest is probably full of a lot of potatoes. And I'm really trying to see like what can I do with all these potatoes? Like seriously, it does feel like it really feels like it should be there should be like a food bank. And I wish I could actually send like items across like the tubes at very fast rates. But I'm not sure if it's like you need like other mods. But I think what I'm just gonna do is just store all these potatoes because there's just a lot of potatoes. Like I literally solved world hunger, but I don't know if anybody wants to trade with me for these potatoes because I mean, I know there's like pretty massive farms everywhere, and from experiencing this, I would say I would definitely say I think I should put something where if somebody wants like a whole potato crate, they can have a whole potato crate. But honestly, it does seem like I solved world hunger like in game. Like if I just put like a whole stack of like foods, like a whole stack of it in there, you can definitely see like how much that farm can actually do it, on its own. Like it's so efficient that all you probably just need is one farm. All you just need is one farm, and then you're fine. I don't know why people need what like 20 farms. I mean, the only reason you may want 20 farms is if you're using like, you're making like some sort of compost machine. But as if I really want to replace all these, the soil here with some organic soil to probably boost its, crop growth. But it's going to be very small and it's just going to be really fast. And I still don't know what to use it for. If there was like another engineering mod in here or something, then I would definitely like, do some more crazy things. But you can kind of see like there's like a split of other seeds, and I could slow this down just for safety reasons. Because in real life, if you be in front of those things, you might get shredded up, and I know many people come across that. So I slow it down to the slowest speed possible. It's not harvesting anything, but it's enough for me to work because I can just, or yeah, actually I could just, okay. It's saying place to air. I don't know what that even means. I'm not sure if this is like a bug or something, because it's just spamming right on my screen. I might have to look at the controls, because to tell you guys the truth, I think before the recording I was trying to install the new mod pack for Monulite. So which means I don't have the shaders on me, which means this is what you're definitely going to see. And I think this is fair enough because it's already immersive, and I think shaders just kind of brings it to make it feel real, but I think even if I play it now, it kind of just feels even more realistic. So let me, you can see I was trying to carrots. I kind of just got lost in my thought. So let me just remove all these just to make this machine just work. The good news is it doesn't store a lot in the chest. Unless it just pretty much just went through it very efficiently. So what I was trying to do, I kind of forgot. Sometimes when I always think, I kind of just get lost. Because right now I was letting the potatoes cook. They finish. I'm just going to put another stack in there. I was supposed to be making sails. Because if we have sails, it can do that. But it does feel relieving, though. Okay. So we're going to try to make a sail, but I think we got to use like a windmill bearing, because that is what's going to be required. Yeah. Because we have to restart this whole harvest. And let me just place down the flax seeds, so we can at least get these grown. Because we already have like a lot of potatoes and a lot of carrots. It's like this farm alone is very self-sufficient. Okay. Then we gotta use the carrots too. But it does seem like one create farm is enough to actually last for a while. Unless you're really trying to, like, build for aesthetics. Okay, let me just Get one more batch. Alright, so that's settled. Then we have to, because we want that to be powered by a sail. And that's why I was trying to look at the sail. And since we have placed down the flax, we have to let the flax grow over time, which it's going to take a while. But the sail, I can just push W to wonder about it. And it seems like it, see windmill bearings. And I still got to use super glue. Okay, wait, hold up, wait. It's moving a little too fast. They will attach to, wait, stop. I probably want this to slow down. Sails are handy blocks to create windmills with. So you just attach them. I'm not sure it's like in a particular order. They will attach to blocks in each other without the need of super glue or chassis blocks. So that would mean that one block alone, it will immediately do that. And you can also dye the sails just to give it like a custom color. But I want to see if I can try to like probably make like magenta, maybe like magenta and maybe pink. Just have maybe like that type of sail. I mean, I can add a little bit of personality to my things. And then it's supposed to generate energy. Because I think my goal is to try to see what can I do here. Because there is a lot of things to do. And also we have zoom. That's also good. So I think my first thing to do is, this would also mean I would have to turn this mechanical piston off. I would have to stop the machine. So that would mean it would just lock to whatever position it's going to sit on. So let me see. See, once I click it, it's going to just plop there. I know there's like a mod where if it moves, it doesn't like plop there. It says always place when stopped. Only place near angle. Only place when anchor destroyed. Means I'm not sure if it's like it's going to let this still float. I can just put that in there. Alright. So everything is growing. And we should be able to, let's see, because one, we want this unit to move because we need a mechanical bearing. But that definitely means we gotta use sails. So we still gotta wait for string. And I think I should also try to add sugarcane in the mix. I think it's for the right reason. Because I really don't try, like, do anything with sugarcane. Because I know sugarcane is useful for, like, paper, and it's affordable. So I might as well try to, set a few of these around. I mean, it's going to look like a very odd farm. It might be, like, inefficient in some cases. And how did you get in here? You sell Nautilusts, but I don't think I'd be riding Nautilusts. So, let me see. Since this is going to be sugarcane. Oh, great. It would definitely mean the rate would probably be... The rate of this might be... Like, this would mean it would have to cut this down. But this would only... That would technically mean it can only support enough sugarcane per water outlet. But I already have like a lot of these crops. Like I could just put these in the corner and just replace it with sugarcane. Because over time, it's going to technically just be a mixture of like other crops. And I probably don't have to worry too much about, being less on sugarcane when we do have a sugarcane farm, but it might be very inefficient. Because let me tell you guys the truth of my experiences with making sugarcane farms. I remember when I used to make them when I used to play Minecraft Factions. I mean, I remember they used to be like very big farms, very huge farms that can like span across chunks. Sometimes I remember making a chunk that was like I probably did like maybe like 2 or 3 chunks worth of sugarcane, and I just kept doing it and doing it, even on my low end computer. It was quite interesting, and I was getting a lot of in-game currency, but that was during the times when I was just learning factions. But I really do need to figure out what to do with these accro coins. And it says spare exchange. Make your first accro coin. Well, I never made one, but I know the Monulite mod has that feature where you can actually turn your accro into accro coins, which are technically in-game currency. Which is very useful. Okay. I'm just making sure there's no, like, creeper in here, because this place can be very busy. Plus, I might think about making some... Maybe making some, like some item vaults. I might just use these, iron blocks. Oh, I did that wrong. My apologies. I don't know what I was going there. I thought of something, and then I was like, oh, let's do that. And I know there's like some more tools and stuff that you can make in this. Okay, there's the other 18. Okay, we gotta put it through the press. Let me just do it like that. Okay, to make glue. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to make some more glue. But I really do have a thought on making a train that automatically places tracks. But at the same time, that's if I just want to make a train that just places tracks and it just keeps going. It's sort of like a drill, but it's not really a drill. It's sort of like once it runs out, it like lets me know that it's being, it like stopped at a rail somewhere. And it can just go on, or I can just let it run for like a while. And then I think you also probably gotta like dig out a spot for it where it probably like loops back around and it just brings back like all the materials and then make a dock station and more complex things like that. I'm just gonna put the rest of the 44 in there because now we have some item vaults. It does feel like I gotta make a food bank. And I mean, if anybody even, I'll say, if people come down here, it's gonna be a very trippy lab though. But I really gotta like make a pathway where they can't like walk into particular areas. Like there's like a reason why they shouldn't go here or shouldn't go here or should go here. And I know there's like some more clearing I gotta do. But But sometimes I just gotta see, like, what can I do today and just enjoy myself. I mean, I could destroy this whole wall here if I want to. And then I gotta sit here and patch this and add like a different type of wall. And then make something where it just, you know, fills in the wall. And then it's finished. Unless it's like, I probably gotta make like a track and it just like goes, it just goes in a loop like this. And it just finishes the walls. I'm not sure about the ceiling. I mean, I do see the ceiling being possible, but it would be very complicated. Like, I'll say extremely complicated. But let me just resume with what I need to do, because sometimes I do tend to overthink a lot. Alright, so we have another spare super glue. But actually, I do need to check into... Like, I mean, I could probably make auto crafters where it can, you know, auto craft into these crates. But I would have to eventually make like an area just for the stuff to go. But I probably just want to make it where people don't really have to go down there, because if they want to come for food, then they could probably just use like the like more like a dispenser, like some sort of dispenser. You know, they could still use this. There we go. Like, this is like one of the dispensers. And then it's like they can either like, but that would also mean I would have to add like a conveyor belt here. Yeah, it would technically mean, this would definitely mean this is a whole rewire if I think about it. Because if I really want to automate all of this, which I could, it would mean if this comes from this output, which would mean it would have to be sent to the vault, and then you would just see like the food being sent through conveyors, and then once it gets sent through conveyors, that's all you're just going to pretty much be seeing. Basically a huge vault that you can literally just click to interact with, or just open a chest and you just see like chests upon chests of it. But I do see rooms for upgrade. Lots of rooms for upgrade. I mean, it sounds pretty complex when you like think it a bit bigger or on a grand scale. I do see it's possible. So for me to move this, I would have to try to provide energy. And to provide energy, it has to be connected, because we want this to spin. And I think I remember once before, if I could recall. Yeah, see, this is a mechanical. This is a mechanical bearing. Okay, let me try to fix this control, because it's saying air. So let me see. Okay. What's this? So it keeps saying place to air. So is it like the left button? I don't know. It just seems like it's just spamming a lot. But let me see. I don't even know what it is, but it keeps saying it. I'm not sure if it's like from another mod. If it's like you know, just spamming. I think as long as like it doesn't bother me too much, I could say place to air, place to air, place to air. Well, technically, I am interacting with the air around me, so I am technically touching air, even though air kind of just goes through my fingers, so it still counts. But I am thinking, because this is a mechanical bearing, so I have to plan on making a windmill bearing. Look at all these crates. If I convert all of those and put them in a vault, there is going to be a lot. It will be a lot. And since the farm isn't started yet, because there's no wind, we have to make the windmill. But to make the windmill, I still need this, but I need a windmill bearing. Okay, so this requires stone, any type of slab, any polished type of stone, and a shaft. That doesn't sound too difficult. But I do have to see what tools I don't need on me. A bat wing. I don't even know why I still have that. I mean, if I want to really analyze how it tastes, but it looks dangerous. Alright, so let's see. Because, see, we have that, then we need a stone. I think would polished deep slate work in this scenario? I just want to see, is it compatible with this? Yes, it is. So now we have a windmill bearing. And windmill bearings create energy. And that would also mean I would have to make the, I still got to make the sails. So I got to see if I have any string. And let me type string. If I type string, because I can get string through, like if I actually have tons of flax, I could try to put it through the crusher and get more string for my drop. And it would just make it feel, it's just going to be more efficient if I try to explain it. So windmill, some of those. I know it's going to need belts, because we're going to be using some belts. I gotta use this because I'm going to be making a few more of those industrial iron blocks. Because industrial iron looks pretty nice. But I just know that once it's all connected, then I gotta make shafts. Also, let me see if I have any shafts around. I'm not sure if I want to make a machine for that too. But it just depends on what I got. So let's just go up and start connecting. But that would mean I would have to try to see if I can get that because for one, I want this to go inside, see, because who knows, it might be set up where I'm going to remove this and place it right here. See, that would mean I would have to put like crates of this stuff. Like the potatoes are going to have to be converted into something else. And if anybody wants potatoes, it's going to be filling up passively. And it's so useful that If anybody needs it, it's gonna probably get dropped through a it might get dropped into like a maybe like through one of these, and it just fills, and it's just gonna be a lot, or an entire overload. And the only way you can interact with this is if I have to somehow set up like some sort of switch just for it to like, pull items out if needed. But it'd be quite complex if I even want to make it where it just moves like one inch and then back, just to like indicate like it's like processing a request. But that's going to be very complex when you like keep thinking about it. So I think for now it's just idling. Let me see if we have that yeah, see, we only have basically a few pieces of flax. I know we had more string, but it kind of felt like, did we use that much string? It just feels weird. So, yep. So you can see that there's like a lot of processes, and this piglin wants to fight me. See, 5 pieces of string. That's not even enough to make a sail. See, I would say this would still recommend me to, I would say this would still recommend me to, make more, machines. And I love how this machine is functioning, because right now it's just making andesite just by using flint and gravel. So we're pretty much having a andesite farm right now, or andesite alloy farm, which is pretty interesting. But I still need to try to automate most things around. And plus, I really want to fill this area up with bricks, so the mobs don't get an idea on destroying my progress. And this guy is still in my laboratory. Let's see for now. I'll say, since it's raining, is there a bed here? Okay. Because I'm going to try to see if I can try to move the parts. Gotta see if I can try to move the parts. Because I know you gotta like make an area for them to be outputted. Which I'm just going to say it's going to be pretty strange on how this is all going to be rearranged. Because one, I'm pretty sure I'm still going to have to interact with this. I'd probably still have to interact with this. Maybe I will say still by using like gearboxes, where I still gotta like toggle it, and I gotta use like a switch where it's like it pulls up and down. It'll probably be ridiculous, but it will still map up the controls of like where it's supposed to go. Like I don't have to be out here. It's kind of like controlled, but with very weird. I think a very weird wiring system. I know. I'm trying to like imagine it if I, go beyond that. Because I do see it's possible. And I don't mind making all this more like a flat land. And funny enough, I'm still wearing my netherite. I think eventually I will have to switch from my netherite, because I am not doing anything in the nether. But sometimes I do need to keep it on, because we don't know what threats may arise. Plus, I don't want people to use the chute down there. I mean, it might be cool to look at down there, but the problem is it's mostly supposed to be unauthorized access. Like, I just don't want, like, nobody to actually go down there. Because that's mostly like a space for me to think and process my thoughts. This would also mean it will have to share with this too. Possibly. Yeah. Yeah, this would definitely would make the laboratory even bigger and more of like a bigger foundation. Yeah. If I do it this way, that would technically mean I'm building a whole actual connection way with kinetics. The power of mechanical energy using kinetics. The power of kinetics. Because the goal is to try to minimize like the physicality of moving around and just focus on just getting the area from like one spot to the next. And that would technically mean I would have to move the chest over here. That would mean I would have to move the chest over here where it's supposed to be outputted. And then once it's outputted, then it gets sent to the belt, and it continues on, and it probably goes right through that whole tubing and everything, because that is an unauthorized access. Because that's how it's gonna be, honestly. Because it's kind of like my private space, and then I gotta turn you around. There we go. So I was trying to imagine it like this, like it goes this way, but I have to connect it where it still receives the power from the component, because this component is just going to be using a different type of energy. So I would have to like disconnect this from the network because it's still spinning. So I'm just going to disconnect it from the network and just increase the power. It's kind of like engineering in a nutshell too, because we can actually increase the speed, or we can change the electron flow, whatever we want. So we can actually change from 120 voltage to 230 voltage. So right now the ports are running. It would have been we would actually have to be wearing gloves when handling this, because electrical currents can be very dangerous. And this is the reason why I think it is a good idea to make like a little farm that makes andesite casings, and it automatically strips logs by using saws and other create mechanics. Because there's like a lot of things you can do in create. But the problem is some people would be overwhelmed with making like tons of these recipes and constantly crafting the cogwheels multiple times. But it's all part of the experience. Like, I agree, it can feel overwhelming sometimes, but I just keep going. And I don't know why I keep saying air, because for one, since it's going to be powered with I would say just technically with either left or right, because that would technically mean these would have to be, yeah. Okay, I'm actually working with like, okay, yeah, I'm kind of lacking inventory space. So let me see here. Because I do want this to like go onto the belt where it still like connects, but I don't know like how it's gonna like connect. So I still gotta like run some tests because I think I probably want the unit to only run this, because if you connect it to that, it's gonna just be an issue. So yep, this is technically like engineering, definitely like engineering, but a little more complicated. I might just gonna put some stuff in here temporarily, dump that out. Okay. Okay, so see, we have this line right here. So we have to try to connect that line to that line. And we have these boots, so that would mean I would have to add you right here, and then I would still have to add like some other ones. I mean, it's quite interesting that it still runs even in the water. There we go. It still runs in the water, and it still provides like kinetic energy. Then we gotta tilt this up, but I still have to see like what level it's on, because once it's up, I gotta see like the position of it. Okay, so it's going. So it's going. Okay, so if I do this, yeah, so it's pulling me downwards. Yeah, so it's pulling me downwards. So that would mean I would have to try to change the inverse of it. Yeah. Either change the inverse of it or the whole solution to it. I mean, some people would say just use a gear shaft. I mean, I'll say it depends on your cases. Like right now, I'm just trying to figure out a puzzle, and it's just an interesting puzzle. Because this is how learning works. When you learn, it becomes quite interesting. And then I connect you to here. As you can see, it's going to pull us this way. You can see it's like going this way. And then I would want this unit to be facing this way. I mean, I could put a funnel, but I don't know if I want to do that. Because if I use a funnel, then it just leaves out one. But I'm not sure why I want to leave out one. I don't know. Unless I really trying to stack up on like a maybe the funnel can probably be useful if maybe like the main one is probably used to make the andesite casings, but that will also require andesite alloys. Then I would have to like supply a lot of andesite alloy, and which means I gotta also add copper. And then it's like I gotta then it's like then I gotta like harvest zinc and andesite. Then I gotta somehow make andesite in the overworld, but the nether is like the only place I could actually make andesite, unless I use like a train track or something where it probably stores up to the amount, and then if it like reads the amount and it says it's enough, it could probably go through the train tracks, and it could just move all the andesite over, and it can be placed in a particular spot, and it just goes right back into the nether and just waits again. So that technically means I'd be depending on a train to move things around. But again, it would sound like a very complex idea, having like a lot of trains just roaming, up and everywhere. But it would make the experience quite interesting. Because you're gonna probably see like a ton of trains. And look at this. The farm is actually growing since we haven't really like did anything yet to it. Because we gotta use pressure from the sky. Okay. I'm just trying to make some more of that industrial iron. But I did give him like a whole stack of iron blocks, which is a lot. Like, it's a lot of iron, but I'm not sure we have like a lot of gold blocks either. Like, I never like tried. Because I know gold blocks can be useful, but I think I'm also looking at its worth. Because I can make golden apples. But I wish I could make enchanted golden apples, then I can actually offer like some, buff apples. I can definitely run like a whole buff apples area where I can give everybody enchanted golden apples, and then I would just have enough golden apples, well, enchanted golden apples, to like fight withers and everything else. But that's kind of like crazy. That's like insane or strategic planning. Okay, so see, it's turning this way. That would also mean I will have to place it. It's okay, because I would want this to go this way. But that's if I do it this way. See, if I do it this way, I will have to let this run like all the way through here. But here, what you see is a whole what you see here. See, I would actually have to try to see what to do here. Because, let me see. Because if you look at this, there's really no, like, particular spot other than it just connects right back to this unit. Which, this would technically mean this area is going to have to be extended. I'll say pretty much all of this is going to be extended out a little. And I just have that feeling. Also, I'm looking over here because, there's a creeper right there. And I don't know their intent. So I'm just going to try to seal as much as I can so they can't have an idea of getting over the block. And this night vision is actually making it a little bit harder to know if it's day or night. And that's just the truth. So if I place this and I do this, okay. I think this should allow us to, okay, so this is going to go this way. That would technically mean, see, I would have to test something. So that would technically mean if I do it like this, and because since it's pointing like this, it's just going to go like, it's going to go is, and it's going to fall right here. So I had to try to invert this. It means this unit has to be inverted. If I invert it here, then that means I'll still have to put something here. Okay. Yeah, so I have to make another one. But I'm just going to see, like, what can I accomplish today. Because see if it's going this way, I would have to make it go this way. But that would technically mean I probably had to do something like this. And that would still mean it will still go onto the belt. Because technically, if it's going this way, it could still go to the belt and still... Oh, there's a creeper right here. This is another way to waste potatoes. Hot potato. But this is probably like the way of getting this through this. Because it still has to go through this process. And then this would mean I would have to try to renown this area. Like, this is what it would mean. I would have to renown this entire area. Because if you look at this, that means the door has to be removed. I'll just say it's going to be a lot of fixing. And plus, if I still trying to add like pipes and stuff in here, this would definitely make the areas pretty much inaccessible. If I actually think about it, that would technically mean these areas are going to be inaccessible. Means the rates and yields will never change. Means it means you're going to have to wait for the materials. I mean, I can increase high yields, but if you think about what you're actually trying to aim for, I would say tons of crates of potatoes and tons of carrots. That's a lot. That's already a lot sitting on its own. Not sure why you need, what, billions of potatoes. Unless you're trying to, like, run a skit or something. But that's a lot of potatoes just to go on for a while, to even make biodiesel. And since this is what this is going to be powered up by, interestingly, that would mean I will also may have to change the way how this piping or the hypertube is actually formed. Means I might have to like add more piping or move the machinery elsewhere. Maybe that's probably what I'm gonna have to do. Probably move this whole setup elsewhere, and just move the hypertubes, which they're gonna be in a more complex way, and it will be different than before. But I will say, it will be a lot of rearrangements. Because I'm thinking about if I place it here, because I still want to like come in and then like I wanted to go in and it comes back out and it can keep stacking up and it's also going to have buffers too. Did you just open the... I think that's one of the reasons why I don't want these guys around, because they will cause a lot of damage. And that is just the rule of, dealing with wandering villagers. I would actually let him out and try to lure him away, but he might accidentally lead a creeper in, and then he just undid all your progress. And then you would just be irritated. That's the little things you gotta deal with. But I just know for one thing, most of my machinery is gonna be 100% light. The only way you can access this stuff is literally through vaults. That's gonna probably be like the only way. Unless you gotta flick levers and switches just to make them interact with each other. And I'm not sure why is it not connecting. Oh, so it can only go but so far. Okay. Let's see. What if I connect you to this? Okay. So pretty much... Yeah. Let me see if I can try to add like another one. Is that really how far it can go? That's sad. So this does mean you actually have to like if you want this to keep going, you actually gonna have to like do a lot of rearrangements, add deployers, add smart filters, because I do see a lot of changes already. But I'm really trying to see like how much time I have, because it's currently 12:30 a.m. and I know today I'm supposed to go to a meeting for IT training, and I'm quite excited that I actually got my paperwork done. So now all I got to do is just wait till September, and then once the training starts in September, I'll definitely be working and trying my best, because I definitely have a future. Because I just want to do it and be independent. And since this thing is still going, yeah, so I think it does have like a minimum and a maximum. Yeah. See, that would mean it actually it would mean it would have to go into I'll say a barrel. I think a barrel might it's probably more feasible or more reasonable here. But this will also mean I'll have to try to like rebuild a laboratory. But I mean, I probably don't have to, since you can actually see like I'm putting like a lot of stuff in it, and nothing. It's like there's always going to be something. And then if I run this, because I could probably make it like stop here, maybe like stop here. But I had to really see how far these mechanical pipes can travel. Okay, this one can travel, and all you have to do is just pretty much just let it just run in, and then it just comes out, and then it goes right in here. This is where you get your logs, but I have to actually think like, where should I, like, if I really want to make an andesite, like say if I want to make like an andesite casing farm, I am still thinking about the funnels. I'm still thinking about the funnels. Because if I make the funnels, because I'll say one section will get the andesite casings, while the others don't really like get it. But that would definitely be like a very complex build, though. I'll say for me, because I never tried it before. Because I was thinking about I'll have to use these, then I gotta set them up with basins. Because let me see how these are made. Okay, see, I would have to actually use, I'll say for the log, I would have to put it through. I would actually have to put it through the saw. I'll have to put it through the saw. It means it already has to be like ready. It has to be like ready to process, which is quite insane. So that would mean I would actually have to figure out the saw, the saw situation. Because if it's gonna come from here, at least I want this stuff to be sawed down. Unless I want to put like a chest right here, and it just goes into the chest, and then it just filters to like I guess it just filters like either, or again a funnel, because if I use a funnel, one can go probably this way and that way. But I'm really just thinking like what I'm gonna do with this, and I am very chatty because this is something that I'm trying to think. Because if I want the stripped logs to come from over there, It's going to come out of the item deployer. It's going to go on the belt, roll down the belt, or the mechanical belt. And then it's like when it gets to here, because right now I'm trying to map this out. When it gets to here, it just gets all the logs. So I'm just moving all the logs over there. Then I have to try to figure out, do I really want this already done, when it first comes out, or when it gets closer? Because if we do it when it first comes out, it's already been processed. But I don't know if changing the orientation or changing the layout here to make it more compact is going to defeat the purpose. Because it's all about mobility and accessibility. Because see, if it comes off of this, because if I add glue and add like a, port, a portable just like over there, it's going to go into like a chest or go in. I was just going to go right through like a barrel or a chest, and then once it like goes into a barrel or a chest, it gets Actually, I probably want to look at that example or that wiring setup because I do need a refresher on how I built all of this. So you can see like all this really needs is this part and a chute. So I have to actually use a chute just to like move stuff around, or I can use hoppers. But I'm not sure if chutes are faster than hoppers. That's what I'm thinking. Because if I could see, once it comes out, because it's going to come here, then it's going to maybe want to shoot. Then I got to give it a shoot. Or, But if I do it through a hopper, if I do it through a hopper, if I done it through a hopper, I'm actually really thinking here. Because if I actually done it through a hopper, yeah, it's like I do need to visualize this. Portable storage interface. So it's technically just that and a chute. It's like once you start thinking of plans and structures, and funny how I actually had to walk around the whole thing. But this definitely do mean I have to like make a lot of rearrangements to the laboratory. Okay, so we're going to need a chute, and then we can go back up. I think to make chutes, all you just need is iron ingot and iron sheets. But that would definitely mean I will have to start making systems that kind of auto converts all my iron, or probably takes a percentage of my iron and then just, divide up the load where we have like iron tools, iron this and iron that. But the problem would be is it will still be a mess, and then you still got to like read the inventory. And I don't think we have like any complex mods that allow us to like, you know, toggle I think, add code where it allows us to like change things. Sometimes you just got to deal with the limitations. Because right here, okay, let's see here. Okay, so I gotta apply glue to you. Okay, now you have glue. So since this piece has glue, that would definitely mean I would have to turn you this way, because it says it can only go for 2 blocks in range, which means another one has to be placed right here. And this also means I gotta make some more chutes. I mean, this is what happens when you actually spend time working with Create, and I'm actually going around the whole lab again. Am I? Oh, I'm going out. Yeah, I think at some point it's going to really change the whole mapping of this lab. And I keep having this other microphone just, tapping on my other microphone. I actually have like 2 microphones on me. I mean, it sounds absurd. Like I have like 2 microphones. Like I have like the headset microphone, and I actually have this more, more, powerful microphone. I will say, an audio wise. I mean, I could have probably used the headset microphone, but I'm not sure what would change other than maybe reduce static. I mean, even if I have, it's like, I'm not sure if it's really worth having a microphone or just use a headset microphone. I mean, sometimes I'd be thinking like that. So as you can see, it's at the good distance because that's what we want. Because what's going to happen is once that happens, it's going to have to come from the unit and then somehow, yeah, I'm still believing I still have to like try to map this out. Meaning, yep, I'm still going to have to try to make some more gearboxes. But I'm still happy that we made an andesite farm. Because if we have not made the andesite farm, it would have taken us a little longer, and we'd be going around harvesting actual andesite chunks, and knowing that andesite takes a very long time to harvest. I'll say if you have like, I'm just going to say more like in a like, I'm trying to make words now. I'll say in a sense, great. My mind is just kind of drifting right now, but I just know that this is going to be a very interesting experience with how we're going to be using Create. And plus, I might have to add like maybe like another shaft. I'm not sure if these shafts are like, I can't like make them too tall or something. Like if I have one like run here, see, it's like it also needs like angles. Like I'm really trying to see like, can I make it like go up? But it seems like it can only go at this level. But I'm really trying to see how can we make it like go here or like connect. I'll say the only way you can make these like connect is if you actually add like a mechanical arm here, but I'm not sure if that's even necessary to add a mechanical arm. But it would mean I am going on my way to make things even complicated, even if it doesn't make sense. I mean, not everything has to make sense. I mean, only if in a creative spark, though. Like, I could be very absurd here, where I could actually have like 2 conveyors, like literally 2, and I can let the arm keep picking up that particular block right there and keeps placing it back on here. And then I could have like one for the saw and the other one for like something else. It would just be pretty interesting. And I think you can also make them chain to each other too, where you could like make like another one and you can make one do something else. I'm telling you, it's just a lot to do. Because I gotta see like which orientation would this be? Because I have to power this up. And the way for me to power this up It's going to require like a few of these. So that means I gotta put one like right here, and then put one on an upside down. Turn it around. Okay, so it is pointing in the correct direction. If you do it this way, it goes like this. And then and somehow you gotta, I'm not sure what this pattern is gonna be, but it turns this way. Okay, I'm not wearing the boots, that's why. So yeah. I would say this is a learning experience though. Like, you have to try to like learn how to move this stuff around. Or you might have to like repipe the whole thing. But I think I'd rather for myself to be sophisticated though, since it's probably more interesting to see like how these systems work. Because I think right now I'm just genuinely curious. But I'm so excited though, because once the training starts, I'll definitely just do whatever I can to help people. Because I want to help people. Okay. So this one's turning this way. I'm not sure if you have to like keep some of them in a certain direction. Sometimes if you do that, sometimes, let me see. Okay, so it keeps connecting that way. Okay, so it's not gonna work because it keeps turning that way. So yeah, this would mean if I were to plan on having a mechanical arm, I would actually have to like place one like right here just for it to like process like another like logic gate or something that I'm going to plan it to give. But this is what future-proofing looks like. Because once I make the mechanical arm, because it's going to be functioning, and then I will have to, because once it functions, it's going to go to the belt. Then you have like a few belts, unless you want to put them in barrels where you might have to make some more smart filters where it specifically puts like particular items, where you might put one side for mostly like wood, the other side for stripped logs. But it's just a lot, man. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do though is I'll say this is fine because it's going to come, because once it's finished, it's going to, and plus it's going to be mechanically controlled. I mean, I can probably add like redstone logic, but it still seems like I still have to manually move it or manually operate it. It's just going to be wired differently or sophisticatingly. Like I might just put like two hand cranks on the wall, and you just see this thing just move back and forth in the distance. It'd be kind of funny, but it'd be quite interesting. It would just be an interesting like achievement or an interesting task. Because right now it's turning this way. It really does feel like I want to put a saw here, because they said I could put a saw, because if I add a saw, it cuts, or... Yeah, let me see what about a saw. Okay, so iron block and... Okay, I think I can make that. Okay, so... Let's go ahead and make a saw. The reason of being, so we can have the ability to, you know, cut. Because we probably want... And we gotta set up a filter of what we want it to do. Because the saw has a little filter on it. So I'm just gonna break this and then place it. And luckily it's also receiving power. So if you do it like this, let me see. I'm just gonna turn this into cogs just to see what happens. So let me just put down a piece of log, hypothetically. So if I have, say, this, it probably has to be in motion. But hypothetically, it does come out of the chute, comes down here. Okay. So that would mean it would have to go into here. It would have to go into here to be placed in, and then it has to continue processing. And I think this one's turned this way. Let's see. I think I can always just, reset the level of this. But I'm just going to do this for my own sophistication. Like, right now, it can, like... Okay. So, let me see here. I'm trying to see how we're going to get this wood. So, if I toss you in here... Workshops most feared. I think you can also get damaged by this. Yikes. That's not good. So I technically died to a saw. That is not good. Very dangerous. And I don't even know where my chest piece went. And that's my helmet. Get these boots off of me. That was very insane. I was definitely underestimating the power of that saw. My stuff flew. My stuff, like, flinged. That was brutal. Very brutal. So do not try the saw. Okay, now where's my back tank? I need my back tank so I can breathe underwater. Okay. Let me just place my stuff down, because I don't know what I lost. So let me see. Okay. There's something else missing. There it is. I want to see if I have everything. I'll say that is dangerous. Like, no kidding. That is dangerous. That is dangerous. So it doesn't even matter if you wear netherite. Oh no. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Other than just be careful handling this, because as you see, even I experienced that. It's crazy. Because I want this to be powered up. So that would technically mean... But I think it doesn't matter since I can just do like this. And see, it's just going to go right into here. And if I have like the right cablings, it's going like this way. And there we go. Let me just try it again. Yeah, so it's going that way. Yeah, that's I was just pretty daring. Like I literally got humbled by us all. But that's curiosity right there, though. Like I was genuinely curious. So once it cuts through, it's going to turn into. It's going to only convert into that. So it's going to cut into that. So once the wood comes in, it's going to cut into that. Once it's cut into that, then I maybe wanted to try to split it where it's like, I don't know if it's like I had to put like 2 depots and probably put some more mechanical arms. And it has like one side that mostly focuses or specializes in like processing the the strip logs into andesite casings, and then I could probably have like a little system there going. But it would still be a lot of work though. And it's been a long time that I've actually been playing. Because if I try to... Because right now I'm trying to imagine this. Because I would want the arms to... I still want the stuff to go into, like... If I'm trying to think of it, like... Because maybe I want it where... Maybe like this, and then... No. It's like... It keeps going. Then we add the smart filters in. And then when you have the smart filters pick up the, I'll say, particular things, unless I want to make like a list filter. And what happens is it goes through this list filter and it gets, pulled out. And you have like, one, I think you'll only have like one smart filter, and you have like a volt system here just to input like a lot of wood. But I'm pretty sure it's not gonna need like a lot, because I think 1 volt, like 1 voltage, I think 1 voltage is enough just to store enough, wood for a good amount of time. And then what happens is, okay, I got pulled down. I need to get up there. I was trying to explain, like, if I do it this way. So what is going to happen... Let me get up there. So what is going to happen is I would want this to only stop to, like, say here, because I think that is the minimum and maximum. So I probably just want it to stop right here, and it gets pulled into the filter, the smart filter. Then it goes through this volt system. So this is where the volt system kind of acts like, like a and or statement in coding. It seems like coding is part of this too, because despite we're using kinetic energy, it does feel like a puzzle once you put your mind to it. Because once we do this, I mean, we can always have that unit over there power up this unit. so we can still have its own power and it doesn't like stress out this. But I think the only function it will have is just, you know, you be able to get pulled and pushed. I'll say all it's going to do is just reduce the delay. That's all it kind of does. It just reduces the delay. And then if we add the filter, and then if I say hypothetically I put both sides, two smart filters outputting particular wood, such as if I have the strip logs, I could probably put like one side where it does the whole automation process of making the andesite casings, and the other side could just be like a full chest or full barrel or a double chest full of just stripped logs. I would say just for like other uses, but it's just gonna be a lot unless I use all that wood and then I convert the wood into like making, cogs, and then somehow it seems like the list just continues and it just goes further and further down the rabbit hole. Because this can be self-sustainable, but it's going to take a lot of planning. Because I'm pretty sure for this part, all you just need is like a basin. Probably how to put a basin and it just presses into it. But I don't even think it needs a basin, since if I want to make this, because I forgot the recipe, I could just use a deployer, but that will also mean I had to make a deployer. Okay. I think that does make things a little bit easier, because since this is going to like come out from this area right here, unless I want to put it in the middle. I mean, I might just put it right here. See, this is what it's going to be. So it kind of like, it's like two outputs. Like one side is focused on processing the andesite, but I will also have to try to figure out on how to resupply it, which also means I will also have to make a machinery that allows me to input only andesite in. But that would also mean my laboratory is going to be very, very sophisticating, because there's not going to be any easy inputs or outputs unless I really want to like mark everything down and make the laboratory even more bulkier than what it is. But I mean, I could do that, just to show like I actually make full systems with these kinetics, and it would be very interesting. So I'm just going to continue, because it's going to stay right in this floor, because once it gets to like here and there's a dolphin, it's going to like keep going and it's going to keep resuming, because once it keeps going, then it's going to keep making a lot. But again, that would also mean I gotta add like another gearbox. It will definitely be like a very interesting like concept to add. Like it just shows two different types, and then I make another machine that kind of like, process into something else, and then it pulls whatever from the wood and it converts it into like something else. Like if I check this recipe, see, I can actually put the wood like a stripped jungle wood, and I get like 6 pieces of more wood. I think any type of wood. And then I can put it back through the machine, and then I gotta figure out how to make more shafts, and then I have to try to, put this all together, because I know cobblestone and nether quartz, because if I use those, actually I am thinking about the andesite alloy, because I'm definitely thinking about it. because I'm still trying to look at the recipe. See, because I can actually just set up like two systems where we still have like a cobblestone generator, which still requires a crusher, and we can also have diorite, which diorite comes from cobblestone and nether quartz that I have. So I could definitely reuse that nether quartz that I have stacks of, and I can feed it through the system and turn into that. And then I could definitely go ahead and make some andesite alloy. And I'm just going to keep reminding myself that this is a possibility. And all it just needs is the deep slate. And we'll still have to use like the mechanical crafter. But I think for now, I'm just going to focus on, because I think I'm still interested in it, because it's like more opportunities now. I'll say for this one, this is gonna mostly just be for like and logs and andesite casings, because andesite casings are very important. Because once we have this and it's raining in game, I would have to go and sleep in the bed. This is one thing about night vision, is that it's hard to tell if it's dark. All right. So it seems like everything is okay so far. There's my axe. I really can't believe that saw actually cut me in half, but it was like that powerful. Quite surprised of how strong the saw really is. Don't underestimate the saw. That's all I can say. But you can definitely see that as we keep building more and more, things are going to become more and more sophisticating. And I think this is the only thing I love about gaming. It's because I can definitely like control the momentum. So let me just put you right here, because I know one of these are going to go left, the other one's going to go right. But this would definitely mean it would have to be some more of these gearboxes. But this is still an interesting experience just to know like how these things react and how they, you know, it's interesting to learn once you like put in the time in. Hmm. Okay, so we have to like change it because it's like connected to one of the ports. So that would mean we have to put one right here, so it can be going that particular direction. But if you look at this though, I mean, it's already, I don't even think I need to even put one here. I don't even think this was necessary. Because if I do it this way, it's already coming off the belt. Like if I do it this way, it's already coming off the belt. It's just the other one is gonna probably need like some more gear shafts. Because this one can only go this way. And that means I also gotta test to see if it's like compatible Might have to add some more shafts. Yep, gonna have to add like one more shaft in between here to change that orientation. There we go. Some things you just gotta work through. This is what systems are. See, you can see that we will also still have to add like a mechanical arm here to no, actually no, we don't need a mechanical arm. Not here though, but we're gonna need one here just to I don't know. Because I have to see how this system functions still. Because I still have the hand cranks. So let me see. Because I think right now... Where's the chutes? There's the funnels. Okay. So for the funnels... Okay. See. I'm not sure if that's going to like... I don't think they're going to pull off to there. I think that part is like ignored or something. So I can always like, I guess cover this spot, since I don't think that's gonna like matter. But I know I gotta make some more for these, so they can be like inputted and outputted. Like one is just wood, and the other is just, you know, extras. But it seems like I gotta like pick particular sets. Because I don't even think this is gonna be automated though. I think that's the thing. Like, maybe there's like a chance. I don't know. Maybe there's like, let me see. Because maybe there's like, I don't know. I'm literally trying to figure this out. Because for one, because it's going to be filtered out. I mean, what's going to happen is they're going to be sawed. And then once they're sawed, maybe one side just gets the like the andesite funnel, while the other one gets a whole stack. But that would definitely mean the system would be even slower, but it'll be more so by design, and I'll say it'll be intentional for what I'm going for. But I'm just going to bring this stuff up because we might need this to make some funnels. Plus, I know we got to make, what, a deployer? Because I know a deployer is going to matter. Let me just go back for a deployer. We got to make a deployer with a few bronze. Then we got to check to see if we can make a precise mechanism. Okay, so we have a brass sheet. Okay. Try another way. There we go. So now we have a deployer. Let me just make a few of these. Andesite funnels. And I'm just gonna... Okay, we still have some more andesite funnels. I still haven't like finished setting up the it seems like I still haven't finished like setting up the farm. So let me just try to see this. Then I'm just gonna get like a few pieces. Maybe like I think 8 is enough. I think all I just need is enough just to at least filter things. Then I might have to go back down and try to see if I can try to make the mechanical arm. But this will definitely change the whole playing field when it comes down to this. Because see, once this stuff gets converted, it's definitely gonna show. like I think for like this part, I may have to put like, yeah, like right here. I will have to like add like another part where it just turns it immediately into um it turns it just into the andesite casing, and it just rolls down, but it still has to be outputted, you know, one at a time, because see, it's going to get outputted one at a time, while this one here, you can actually output like a very high number. But I actually got to see though. So if I throw you down, okay. See, it actually shows, I think it's like priority. So if I place this, I would say the extracted amount has to be at least 64. So if I throw this here, it goes over there. So you're going to have to use some logic gates. So when you have logic gates, you got to give them like true and falses, or zeros and ones. It's sort of like the computer is talking, but we're using kinetics. And I know we have to set this system up where it has to keep supplying the then you have to try to supply this unit. I mean, some people, I would say I would probably just, you know, put a chute and just make some really ridiculous setup where it just drops in. But that's if I really just want to make like the unit, like, you know, connect from here, and then it just continues. And then there's like a spot where it says input andesite andesite alloy. It goes right into here, and it constantly keeps filling it. And all it does, it just keeps using this tool here, and I can just put like 8 here, for example. And let me just put that in, or put it through. So if you do this, it cuts through. Okay. So I did something wrong. I did something completely wrong. So it's going to use this, but I'm not sure if it's too fast. I think that's the issue. If I place you down, okay. I'm trying to troubleshoot this. Okay. So how do we in fact get the andesite casing with using the deployer? So let me get my wrench out. Okay, so is it like a set speed, or is it through a deployer? If the process is done through a deployer, then I think that makes a lot of sense. But we actually saw it actually run through like the entire thing. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'll have to figure it out. Because it's supposed to turn it into like, because it has andesite alloy. Like, it's going to keep supplying it, but I'm not sure if that's what it means. It's kind of confusing, because I'm really thinking, is it really speed? Because you cut that, it really gives this unit no time to react. You know what? I'm thinking pretty slow, because I forgot to connect this. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I'm actually pretty exhausted. I'm just tired. I must be that tired or confused. So let me connect this. I think that's why it wasn't working, because I forgot to hook it up. I really need to be mindful when it comes down to this, because if I go to the IT training, I would definitely have to pay attention because sometimes I might, say something is wrong, and then I looked at it, and there's actually something that's like, hindering the process, or something that's, not clicking or not making sense. So let's try it again. I'll say we're going to try with this wood. If we do this, there we go. So that's what's supposed to happen. Yep, so once it goes through here, this is where we get our andesite casing. So you can say that we made ourselves an andesite casing machine, but I'm still working on trying to automate this. And I've been recording for almost 2 hours. So I would say this process is getting good. I'll say, I know for this side, it's going to be like a lot of wood, because I would have to cut down a ton of trees or a ton of jungle logs like per second, which would be pretty insane. So I'll say so far this is okay, because once you have the mechanical arm, I would say, because once it goes here, it jumps through here, then I don't even know if the mechanical arm is even required, because it's already going to be going through a filter. So I don't think this is necessary. I don't think that's necessary. Because it seems like it's like I do need it and I don't need it. I mean, I think it's to like certain degrees. I would say I think this can just flow pretty easily. Like, just flow pretty easily. Like, when it's done, like, it just moves ups and downs. Like, it just moves up and down. But I do want to see it in action, though. So let me, I'm just going to try a sample of this. It might be insane, but we'll try. Okay, so if we... Okay. So I'm trying to pull it. Okay. See? So that still means I still have to physically wait for it to load up. And then I have to replant it back. So it technically means I would have to just let this fill up. And I think I might get like a secret advancement or something. Okay. Workout section. Use the hand crank until fully exhausted. We are. See our logs over there? Like over there, it's doing 1x1s. And it's going to keep requiring more of this andesite every time we put it in. So we click like this. Look at that. And maybe I could try to sort this out where it probably doesn't get taken from these chests. It probably stores like specific items or smart filters. So what you see here is wood. So that means I still gotta like put a smart filter for this. Like this still needs a smart filter. Because once this do that, it's gonna stay there. Well, that would technically mean I would have to do something about this. Not sure if I have to put, I don't know, let me see something. Maybe may have to put like, maybe shoots down. I mean, it would be ridiculous, but it's worth a try. It would just be a lot different. Like, it will still have the logs, but I'm just splitting them so you could actually see, like, they're just going into the units. But I will have to connect them all together, though. Like, it's still going to supply that. I'm just hoping, like, it doesn't, like, you know, move elsewhere. Because it's going to stay here, and then I'm going to glue this. Glue that, and then incorporate this. So that should mean it should be together as one piece, and it should, you know, I'm just hoping it, like, it should be okay where it doesn't, like, you know, go into the chest. But I'm pretty sure it's gonna go right into the chest. Like, I have the feeling it will do something like that. But that will also mean, that would technically mean I'll also have to, like, keep these stock up as often. Because if this is going to keep building, I do have a feeling it's going to keep building and it's going to overfill. Then I had to do something with the saplings, and I got to keep the saplings filled up. It's sort of like we still have to manually operate this. It's that odd feeling, like I still have to manually operate the machine. Even if it feels like I really want to be, like, hands-free and just let it just, you know, run its own processes. But this still needs human intervention. And I am getting a little bit itchy. I would say for this playthrough, it's probably going to be mostly just me trying to figure out this whole andesite casing farm. I mean, it's, even though it's not much, or it might be much, but at least I'm making a comeback. But I'm so itchy, honestly. Because it's like I still have to, like, put something there so this thing can still get its fuel. Like, we still gotta put something here. And then I'm not sure if I have to, like, it's like I have to, like, do something, like, right here. Because I know if you, or what if I set it higher? Okay, if I try to set it higher, it'll be higher. But I want to know, like, the angle. Like, how, like, okay, so let's see. Okay, so I do see that it can be placed in particular spots. Like, it shows here, and I got, so that would technically mean, can I place one right here? There we go. So we can definitely place one right here. I'm just seeing, like, what else is possible. I think you can, like, I'm not sure if you can, like, add on to it. Let's see. So let me just remove this again. Because it's supposed to connect. See, if you connect these two, it turns into this. Then somehow you gotta maybe, like, set up, like, a whole system, and then you gotta keep it straight. See, it doesn't work like that. So it's sort of like, I still gotta, like, add, like, another piece. But it would technically mean it would have to be like above here, meaning I'm not sure if I gotta put like a maybe like an item frame, and I gotta put like place andesite casing, andesite alloy here, and it just like pulls out. Then I gotta have it wired to be pulled out. It's gonna be a very a very complex system. And then we want this to be like outputted, but it seems like it probably needs to be closer. Yeah, it definitely has to be like closer. Like it has to be like above. Like I put like above this barrel, but it seems like it doesn't do too well when it's like up close like this. Like it probably has to be like a level higher. I would say like this level. So that will still put like a very deciphering middle area. And there it is. It's still right on the belt. And then I can just remove this piece and then fix it where it attaches to this one. And then if we want it to come out, because we want this to go this way, so it can go up. And I think the closest, I'll say the closest would be, I'll say, I'll say, I'll say both of these are actually going in the same direction. But I will have to see which ones like allow me to like change the orientation so I can face this way, and I can put something there, maybe glass or something, and it just filters it. It just filters in, or I could probably put like a or I could probably add like a chute that probably extends a little bit, and then it just keeps it organized instead of just looking like a mess. Yeah, so it doesn't have to keep flinging. It could just go right in, and it could just like drop right in there. It's just gonna feel immediate. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that probably would be something that I could try to utilize. So let's just go up here because it's gonna go right through the chute. I'm gonna put a okay. So this is where I'm gonna put the barrel like this, and this is where it goes in because I want it to go inwards. It keeps the mess down, and then you still have this barrel, and I can keep the barrel going down right through these, like do this whole tube system here, and I think it allows you to go through like many. So let me see something. I'm just gonna just try it for example. Um, if I have if I have what, eight andesite, you can't really see it, but eight andesite alloy, and if I put like two up here, it should be able to flow to give me 10. So it does in fact work, which is good. So it's going to be set up to basically to put the items in here. I mean, I could probably pretend like it adds like little support, give it a little bit of like a support beam, something like that. I mean, I could definitely go a little beyond. Um, so what's going to happen is filter, meaning you could probably make like a certain recipe with it. It depends on what recipe you're going for, but I think for this one, it's going to mostly just be a lot of the filter. But I think I should just put it there so I can always keep, getting more andesite alloy. Then I have to make some more um, gearboxes because I think my plan is to probably focus on making some more gearboxes and more cogs and more. It seems like you got to do like a lot more automation, and And we are losing even more space, which makes this even more interesting. And also, I do want to share some things too about what I've been doing though. I'll say recently, I've just been doing a lot of studying. Mostly did a lot of, I mostly did like a lot of, again, IT. I did some electrical engineering and some general chemistry. And I would just say that stuff is pretty interesting. I mean, a lot of people would say it sounds very difficult because there's like so many it's like so many it's like so many like it's like so many theories and so many it's a lot of math. It's sort of like they just know it's so much math. Like when there's so much math, it can drive anybody uh insane. But I'm saying it's worth the challenge because I am definitely going to do it for my interest. Also hoping this is okay. That's good. So that's the good news. So it is pointing this way, but I would also want this one to also continue. See, I don't want it to go downwards. It seems like I probably have to add like maybe like another one and then click it again to keep it all keep it all going. So I'm trying to play like over here. Nope. There we go. So yep. So the pattern continues. Then I gotta keep making some more of that industrial iron. And that is a good reason why we in fact made the iron farm, or five iron farms to be specific. Because without those, we probably wouldn't be able to be making like a few of these things here. Or I would say a few of these. Because when you start to, optimize on your, ore output and things like that, you will definitely see the scale of things. Like you'll see like there's like a lot more things you can place. There's a lot more things. It's like once you start running the math, it just becomes interesting. So right now, this is where the andesite casings, come in. This is where you put your andesite alloy in to keep it filled. Because once that happens, it's going to fall down. It's going to pull whatever from the barrel comes down. But I think by then, I might have to try to think about maybe extending further. And then the laboratory would definitely get another update where it seems like I'm totally moving towards making things more efficient instead of just, actually handling the stuff. But it would be cool. Plus, I did say I was going to like do something with the sail. So I'll say, for now, I will have to try this tree, but I might have to get some bone meal. Might have tried some bone meal on this one, just to see like what happens if we actually try cutting it down. Like, I know there's like some sticks and stuff in the chests. Like I know there's stuff in there, but I just gotta see. So we do have some bone meal because we're going to try to run a test on what happens if we actually try to like interact with it, because it would technically mean we are we have successfully built the andesite casing farm or machine. So I'm just going to grow the tree. Okay. So I'm not sure if the barrels are the issue. Or maybe I might have to change it around. These are probably charged up by the barrels, but okay. Seems like I used a lot of bone meal. I don't know if these do too well. I'm really wondering because it seems like it doesn't do too well. Like I might have to remove these. I don't know. But I'm really trying to see how we can like connect this. I don't know. But once it grows into a tree, it'll grow into a tree. And look at that. All the crops over there is grown. So now all I can try to do is wait for this stuff to grow. But I think what I'm going to should be focused now is maybe making the sail. Because I'm still trying to make the sail. So we have the windmill bearing. So the windmill bearing is going to just require basically power of mechanicals. So this means it would definitely mean for this thing to even move, this thing has to spin on its own, which it technically means if I'm trying to think of it this way, that would also mean I probably had to make like a few upgrades. Let me just, because I have a plan. I definitely have a plan. Because if it's going to be using its mechanical, and I might just remove these because I'm not sure if it's not like serving a purpose or anything. But I'm trying to have a plan. If if I do that, I would have to like lift it up a little bit, but it still can be connected. But it's just going to be angled a lot differently, and it's just going to be relying off of sails. Because that is what I'm thinking. Alright, so let's just try to figure this out. I think once I finish this, then I could relax. Because I think all I just gotta do is like seal this. And I probably do need to get some more iron. Because I do want to attach some things. Because see, that's what's going to happen. It's going to attach, and it's going to keep spinning. But actually, let me see here. No, see, the problem would be is this would, no, see, windmill can't be here. See, mechanical bearing has to be right here. So it has the ability to spin. Which means I also have to add power under here, like this. And it's going to happen, it's just going to spin. That also means like, basically like this. See, I'm not sure it's like this. where this thing suddenly just starts spinning. And once it starts spinning, this is technically going to be powered. I mean, this is going to look ridiculous, but anything just to receive some power. And I heard that you can actually rotate it either way. It doesn't have to be like an actual windmill. It could be vertical. I mean, I never really like tried it, but this would definitely just mean I would have to open this up. I would say this area would definitely need like a whole overhaul though. And that would also means I gotta get some more blocks to place. Because this is going to be very interesting. And I don't know why I keep doing this. Because I keep getting all this mixed up. But the laboratory is getting updates. But they're just not like crazy updates. Okay. So all I just need is like some more iron to make some more nice blocks. Because what are we going to be doing is a lot of sorting. And then I got place blocks. Then I gotta add sails. I think the sails part, you can really tell I don't have any bone meal. But let me see though. Bone meal. Bone meal. Calcite. Bones. We don't even have calcite. That's interesting. We have no bones. No bones. Plus I really want to make a sail. So we actually have to do this. So we literally have to make a sail. And I also believe this would also mean I would have to make some slabs. Then I gotta connect those slabs, and then I gotta create energy. But I think they also say you probably need like more wind speed or something. But I have to see. Because right now, all we gotta do is just build high in the sky. I mean, I don't know how high it needs to be, but I would say it has to be high enough where it gets like air at least. I would say like this height. I think like this height might be good enough, but it's kind of strange how we're standing on this shaft. But I will try to organize it the best way as I can. And then when you do this, then this is where you install your mechanical bearing. Or is this the windmill? Let me see something. I gotta turn you around. There we go. Or I can face it this way. So this would technically mean... So that means I'm still short on a few. I really want that tree to grow. But... Ow. I really want that tree to grow so we can actually have some, like, wood. But it seems like we might have to, like, cut down some... Like, some, I guess, bystanding trees. I really don't want to, like, cut anything from the forest. But I think if it's gonna be that, we're gonna have to do it. I'm not sure why am I, you know, breaking wood pretty fast. Maybe because I've been, I guess, using the wrench for so long that it feels like I am, efficiently cutting down this tree really fast. Okay, see, it finally grew back because I was actually going to manually do it. I think this is the reason why I was trying to you know, make it more so like there's less manual labor and it's just mostly automated. In which it just gives me more time to still work on other things and just be content with it. So you gotta use the hand cranks again. But I'm not sure how that's supposed to be filtered though. Because I think if it's like a moving contraption, because you can actually see it's like right now it's doing the process and then it just stacks. Hey, look at that. A whole stack of stripped jungle logs. That's the intent. So it works. So we made ourselves a sort of auto sorting system, and I will definitely cover that saw because I don't want nobody to get hurt because we don't want you saw how that happened. That saw can definitely shred through netherite, just like the crushing wheels. Anything you can create is dangerous. These machines just function on true efficiency. They never slow down. We also are getting sticks. I'll say for this one, you might be able to get some sticks. I'll say mostly sticks. Because you have some of these saplings in there. I'm not sure what happened to the saplings. Let me see what happens. I'm not sure if it takes the saplings. Because I think it does. So let me just bring it back. Yeah, so it does keep the sap. It does take the saplings and the sticks out. So this is technically like by default. So that would technically mean I'll still have to like put a mechanical arm eventually somewhere where it somehow pulls or it only dumps out like the access items in bulk or or in small I'll say in like singles like this one, and it just gets ported back into the machine where it constantly recycles over and over. I mean, that's the only way you can prevent your saplings and sticks getting caught up in the mix. But that's how you clean your system. But I think for sticks, I don't know what other point for sticks other than just sticks can be used for like fuel. Like, that's probably the only thing I can think of. Maybe just burning the sticks because I probably don't need a lot of sticks anyway. Because if I have tons of wood and I can just use the saw to manipulate, the count of the wood instead of 4 pieces of logs, I can actually get 6, which is like extra 2 planks, and the extra 2 planks can be used for, to make more cogs and more things, and it just becomes more interesting. So it's more like I'm basically being more efficient with my output. So I said, no, this one is doing well. This one's just going to probably get an update where we might make like a bigger system up here, and it just continues. And then we probably want to convert this into like planks. And then once this gets converted into planks, then I'm going to try to see if I can try to use the planks and use like I will say it will still have to utilize the andesite alloy. And the andesite alloy is going to be the most expensive thing to make consistently because you have to somehow keep mixing it up. And then it will also mean for this one, I would have to try to make a I'll say a cobblestone generator again. Then I have to use the cobblestone with the nether quartz that I have acquired from the machinery. Means I gotta bring a whole bulk of that. Means I'll definitely be using the nether quartz every day. And them chests will always be filled. And that means up here there will be an active andesite machine, but the one in the nether has like a totally different process. But I could still put that stuff over there if I, still want to, get rid of the flint and use lava. At least I'm making use of that area too. But it's going to be a totally different process. And it does feel like I am explaining a lot, but it sounds quite interesting once you like invest like some time into the thought. It just feels possible. Okay. I will have to put some more of this andesite alloy in there. Because again, if I put you in here, this goes right into the machine. And this just keeps producing. At least I'm definitely making this easier in the long run. So I don't have to keep crafting this by hand every time. I can just put it together and it's just finished. And that is a good sign. See, this is what I'm talking about. I have to do something with these jungle planks. I gotta do something about that. I would say later on, I will probably have to try to figure that out. But right now, I'm looking at my time. It's what, 1:57 a.m. Been recording for 2 hours and 27 minutes. I really do want to see like how far I can get into this. Because I'm pretty sure I really just want people just to access like, typical foods here. Like this is like a food bank where you can just, they can just access the food. But of course, I'm going to have to try to figure it out though. Because if I just want them just to say, just have access to this food and all they just get is like, containers or like crates of them, like they're getting like crates of this stuff. You're not getting just, potatoes and a stack. You're getting crates of it. And also, they let me know about voice chatting. I probably didn't even set it up. Okay, select speaker. Oh yeah, so I do have my own speakers. So I guess it's like asking me for my mic. Voice activation. I'm just going to skip this. Meaning I can turn it on and off. But again, I never really used the feature as much. And I was sidetracked because that came up out of nowhere. But I would say for this part, I mean, I could make it a little bit longer. I could probably put something here or just make this track a little longer. I could probably extend it a little bit. But I really have to see like how far I can actually get with this. And I might think about adding like some more doors and more kinetic energy around here. So it could be a little more interesting to open and access particular locations. Because I think like this part right here is probably fine, but I know eventually this is probably where this is going to be like a buffer. Because I'm thinking about this is going to be a buffer. Because if I keep it going, so if I like remove this, I could probably keep this going where it just keeps, you know, continuing down the line. Like I can definitely keep doing that. And I could just remove this part. I might just gotta check into this. Because it seems like I could actually extend all of this. Where it's like, this could be a little bit like a buffer zone. Once it's like, you know, I'm actually just, you know, flicking it on and flicking it off. Who knows? I might just be staring at the lamp or the light or just looking at the tree grow. And I just, you know, flick the lever on. Just existing in the world. I mean, it's redundant, but at least it feels predictable. And plus, and then I gotta check about this area, because this is all powered by literally this unit. So I gotta cover this unit, because that would also mean this whole piping would actually have to be changed or covered. Because this is literally my laboratory. This is where, you know, you can go all the way to the island or come right back here. So it would mean there's going to be like a lot of, you know, a lot of changes around here. What speed is this going? Yeah, this is going at the fast speed. Yeah. Right now I'm just trying to see like what can I do here. And we also still have this. But I think what I'm going to do is maybe extend this to maybe like right here. It would totally be a different room. It's totally going to be a different room. I'll say more so of a room that I can only enter. Because it's more so like, you know, components for create. If anybody else comes in, then it's just going to be like pretty strange. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, it's dropping the wood. Okay, so it's dropping a lot of wood. Okay, that's an issue. Okay. Alright. Man, it's kind of crazy. I was not expecting that. But it's still a lot of logs though. Okay. Okay. So that means I still have to keep this one straight. I think this is where I was trying to like connect this one. Yeah. I think that was the cause, and then I was trying to, you know, can I just hold up? There we go. I was trying to figure out like how would this be done? And then this is where it continues the output, and I could just put like a chest here or a barrel. I think I'm starting to use the barrels more often since they kind of feel more accessible. And then you just plug it in there. All we just did was, no, stop that. So pretty much all we just did was add more buffer zones. So all we did was add a buffer zone to it, and then we can probably do the same for this one, because I could probably do the same thing for this one, because they're both going the same way. So I could just, you know, do it this way, and I could just continue the cycle like this. think it goes, I think this is where the barrel sits, and then this is where I place one here. And then I add my mechanical belt. It's going to pretty much just going to connect seamlessly. And then that connects, and then, see? That's how it works. We get our strip jungle log, and this basically is our buffers, just in case. I can cover this up. I can cover some of the systems, since I don't think we're going to be doing any upgrades to the buffering. But now we know that this is going to continue it's going to continue sorting out the I'll say the andesite casings and the strip log. So now the next part we're going to have to try to figure out is trying to cycle back the like the other parts. And I think I could do that. I think I could apply that, since I think they tend to move over here, not over there, because this one has a filter system specifically for this. So this would mean if this were dropped here, it would have to immediately pick up the saplings and the sticks, and then I have to figure out what to do with the sticks. And then for the sticks, it's sort of like I'm creating a lot of if-else statements, but with create. So this is technically like wiring. This is very interesting, though. It's like I'm actually wiring. Because once you add the filter in with, custom logic gates, it goes right through the it goes right through the component. And then what happens is that we want the component to, I'm not sure we can apply funnels to this, because if we can, it can recycle back, meaning it would actually may have to be in, or maybe there's got to be like a process where like it indicates like it's like, being charged up and it's, being emptied and dumped. It's gonna probably be like extra. I'm pretty much just gonna say it's gonna just be like extra laws and extra rules. Sometimes it's interesting. But I'm still have to try to resume this build right here, because this is quite important, because we definitely need this windmill. And I might have to craft a crafting table here too. I mean, even though we have one down there, but I wish there was like a way where we can like carry a crafting table around. And this is where our windmill is going to be spinning. So we have made enough of these gearboxes, so we got to make some upside downs and some verticals. I'll say this is where it gets very interesting when you start learning about using wind, because create is definitely like one of those mods where it's like you have to learn your weaknesses, and then you plug this up, and I'm pretty sure you're going to have to add some glue to it. They say you don't need glue, but I still got to make a sail. And to make a sail, I got to actually check. See, all I just need is some string. So that would mean I could probably just use wood, because I can definitely just use wood for this. And I just got to probably like make like one sail. Because I'll say what most people have showed me was it doesn't even have to be this way. It could be vertical or something like that. I mean, it's quite interesting though. I mean, if I do put like a windmill that's more so like facing upwards, then it's just interesting. So let me see this, and then gotta add some glue because it's going to need glue, of course. Right click. Okay. Yeah, see, sails. So it still needs some sails. I need some sails. I may have to actually pick through this yeah, I'm gonna have to pick through this. You know, this wasn't my plan, but I'm gonna have to pick through it. But this is one of the real reasons why I want to automate this so I don't have to worry about it. And all it just needs like a few sails, and then once I get a few sails going, then we'll just look at it just, you know, we're just going to see the whole process just working on its own. And it's going to be a very rewarding feature once you take a look at it. So I'm going to go to the Nether, and I'm going to input my flax through the machine. And I might think about making some crush wheels for the overworld, because I might be doing more on the surface, and I'm hearing a no good gas up to trouble. And by me being here, I can also go ahead and make some andesite alloy. Okay. So I think that's a lot. I'm not sure if that's like enough string. It might be enough string. So let's see. I'm just going to get enough string, because I know I got to make like a filter, like a little filter system, because I know that's going to be like very important. A filter system or a list filter, because I'm thinking about if I really do need to make it where the saplings and stuff don't get caught or twisted in the whole conjunction of the machinery. But I actually have to see though. So let's see here. I'm a little bit itchy. So let me just make the list filter. Now that's going to be applied to whatever smart filter there's going to be. And then I think once I do that and make the windmill operate, then I think I should be fine. Might think about making a golden carrot farm if I could. And I think the good thing too is if I do factor in the weather, it will also make the farm pretty efficient too, because it does tend to rain around these islands. Like, it does tend to rain. So let me just go ahead and collect some sticks. I'll say sticks could be useful for sails. But again, I just have to see, like, what can I make? Oh yeah, I think we gotta actually craft these manually, because they say the server owners didn't install the mod or something. Okay, so we used up all the wool. Since we used up all the wool, I'm going to see if we can try to use the sails. I mean, I know there's no right or... I'm not sure if there's like a right or wrong way, but I just know that I gotta like set this up. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to look at what blocks I'm connecting to. because I really don't want to like cause any confusion. But we're going to have to like place these in a particular way. So it has to be like something like this. But it's actually not bad when you try to set this up though. It's just that you got to be extra careful because you don't want to like, die to fall damage. So let me fix that. Can you reorient? Okay. I think that's probably fine. Then we gotta do like the bottom. Okay, let me fix that. And then I gotta do the other side. It's kind of funny how it's like I'm trying to relearn this. And then it's like I gotta like glue it back on. But this time I gotta double check to make sure it's glued properly. So let me see if we try to spin it. A mild breeze. So you can see it kinda. I don't think it's moving because I don't think it's like hooked, but it's probably so slow. Let's see. It's probably so slow. I'm not sure you can make it any faster. But it's a particular way. Let's see. You turn it around. Okay, so it is moving a little bit faster. But we still have to try to see if we can try to like add some more sails to it. Because it's still pretty slow. Plus, I'm not even sure if it's like connected right. Let's see. Hold up. Nope, it's not connected right. Hold up. So let me fix this. So let me fix that. There we go. So it's going to keep moving. It's going to keep working. And I may have to like do some replanting. But it's kind of cool how we actually got this to work though. So now we have successfully built our windmill. I think the way how I learned to build the windmill was, I think when I was playing all the mods 9 No Frills. That was probably the only time I was actually learning how to build this. And it was pretty cool. Like you actually get to see it just spin, and you can just relax. And I think it should just be kept like this. Yeah. Because right now I'm just trying to like remove all these unnecessary like block placements or temporary blocks. Then I gotta do the other side. I think the good news is we can also always upgrade this to add even more sails. So if I say have like any more wool, I can definitely do that. I can just keep doing it over and over. And I might think about using a crusher though. I'm not sure, but that's if I really want to turn that flax into string and then get it converted into wool to make like bigger to probably make like some more sails or something. But I'm not sure if I'm going to be using wind energy. I mean, it's entirely up to me. Like, it's entirely up to me, but I don't know. Because it will just vary from circumstance or whatever the case, how would the case be? Like, it's functional. It's working. All I just gotta do is just do some updates, and then it just keeps looping around. Like I could just put that in there, and it will also mean I gotta fix this little portion here, unless it's really necessary to fix it. I mean, it might shrivel. It might have shredded the Like, I don't even see, like, the sugar cane. Let's see. Okay. I think that's the issue. So I think we can kind of do sugarcane, but I think sugarcane is a different. I think sugarcane is like a totally different rule. It seemed like you gotta probably like go. You probably gotta go up a block. So I think for this case, I think for the sugarcane, we're gonna probably have to make a farm for it, a appropriate farm that only cuts the second layer because it keeps shaking. It keeps sending the whole layer through the chest. So now that this is, I'll say, set up, we're gonna have to put some more of that alloy in there. I might just put like half of it in there. See, it just process it, it sends it in like singles, and it just adds up really fast. And for this part, I think this is the part where I was supposed to make another smart filter, and then I'm supposed to like possibly move these. I'm thinking about trying to see if I can try to bend to these, or if they're like if it's like a possibility for me to like connect them to like the unit, like if I could try to connect this. Okay, you can actually see like there's like an extra piece here. Like let me see. Maybe I probably want to see like this part to be connected, and then all I just need is like maybe like some dried kelp and just put a smart filter on it. I might probably make like 4 or 6 smart filters just to see like what happens. Because so far we are doing good with experiencing new things around here or utilizing new tools. So I would say that's a good thing. Totally not bad. I still haven't had the chance to make the cardboard set. I'm really thinking about if I should try to make the cardboard set, but the only issue is I definitely need a lot of that jungle sapling, which would mean I will have to try to like put some water in and keep making more. And then I think to make the cardboard, I actually got to get this pressed. Got to put it through a presser, and then I probably get a full set of that. I think that might be my goal. I think it's probably going to look cool because I never actually tried wearing a armor full of cardboard. Because I think I remember only making what? Like, it's like I only made the cardboard helmet. I'm not sure if I already made the chest piece. Because I know it needs like a lot of saplings. Like a ton of saplings. And I might have to grow some, saplings that I have on me too. And then we also have another list filter. So we have 2 list filters. Okay. Right now, I'm just trying to see, like, what's going on here. Because once I get it all connected, then it's going to start sending, it's going to feel like a factory. It's going to definitely feel like a factory. So right now, I just need to, like, see how we're going to do this part. Because I probably still want this to, like, stop, like, right here. Like, it could still, like, interact with the pieces. But that would mean it would have to connect to this. It would have to connect to this. And then I had to find a pattern that can work. So I gotta like do this. And then I gotta connect to you. So you go this way, but I don't want you to go that way. So we gotta change it. So that means I gotta add what? Another, basically like another one. But I also gotta see like how we're gonna do this part. I may have to like put a little shaft back there. Yeah, you also gotta do like some manipulations with the stuff to see how it's like, mapped out. All right, so as you can see, it does that. For this part, this is where I'm supposed to put my list. This is where I'm supposed to put my jungle saplings, my sticks. My jungle saplings and sticks go in here. So let me get that list filter. Okay, so this one has flint and gravel on it. This one is a clean one. So this is going to have stick and jungle sapling. So that's going to have stick and jungle sapling. And it's going to be paired with this one because we want this to pick this up immediately. Like once it comes out, we want it to go in there immediately. So that gets filtered. And then once we do that, then I could set it up where I could add a lava bucket here, or a little pit, or a little trash, or even use cactus just to effectively dispose the material. Because sticks would be good for, burnable fuel, but we already have like fuels in the nether. So it would be quite, pointless. And if I want to, put sticks out, that means I will have to output the sticks. That means I got to get a stick and I got to set it to... Okay, sorry, let me just do this. Okay, so that would mean I would have to dump at least like, I'll say exactly 64 sticks. Don't know why, but at least it keeps a buffer. Because we can try to work with a buffer. And let me just fix this. And then all we gotta do is put lava in here, but it seems like I'm not sealing it correctly. There we go. So we just gotta dump lava in there. Then it just constantly filters the sticks. But it also means you could pick out some sticks, but I don't know if I really want to set it to exactly 64. I'm just thinking. I know there's like zombies and stuff in here. So now we got a bucket of lava. Man, we're up so late. But I definitely need to get this finished. Okay, so that's what happens. I'm just going to throw the bucket in there. So right now it's going to just dump out the sticks. And over here, this is going to, I believe, going to dump out the saplings. I would say for sticks, I'm just going to put up like any amount just to keep it all clean. And then I gotta see about this, if this is possible. Okay, I'm trying to see how can I like add this in here. I'm not sure if this is like part of it, or if this is like a totally different like I'm trying to see if I can actually like filter this in here. Like I'm trying to see, like I'm really trying to see, can I like move with this unit? So I don't think it works with this. Let's see. I'm just going to test. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so I don't think it's going to work like that. Let alone trying to filter it. Because if it only can accept this, it's only going to accept this. But I don't know. So, let's see. I'm just going to test as a hypothetical situation. So, say hypothetically, the jungle sapling comes here. So, it's going to wait for that process, isn't it? I just want to see will it like still go through even if it's processing. Okay. Is this machine broke or what? Let me see here. Okay, we still got the buckets on there. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait, hold up. Hold up, I'm still trying to fix this. So alright, so it's all cleared. So I still have to like try to cut through this. Or is it because of these vines? Okay. So if I try to... Okay, so... I'm really just looking at this. Because the machine is kind of like automated. So let me just try to figure this out. So I'll say it still filters in, but it just waits. So let me just try to break it. And then I eat some food. I definitely didn't like attach that. And if I bring it back, then it filters in. And where do you come from? He probably just found the opportunity, like, you know, to run after me. Alright, so let me see something. I'm not sure why you're not properly glued on. But maybe I could try to swap the orientation a little bit. So it doesn't be like that. I could probably just do like this. And then just, you know, connect this way. I mean, it probably wouldn't even change much. Other than at least these units are, you know, getting their filter. If I put it like this, so that would mean if I say use the system, see, it goes right through the system. I do like this. Okay, so it does, so it's going to go through right through the filter. Okay. I think that's the reason. I think it is the alloy. See if you do this, that's when it gets filtered. Okay. It's kind of hard to tell. Because it's like, it's just going to probably keep outputting like a lot of stuff. Unless I probably want to add like an extra filter. Maybe I could do that. I could probably just add like an extra filter. But I probably have to like change, I might have to change the rules on this one. Because this one came from, it came from something else. But I might have to go check. If it came from the Nether, then I might have to make like another one. So I have to add sticks and the, and look at that, it grew another big tree. I mean, it just gets interesting. Let me just take these jungle trees and use the filter. I think once I do this, I should be finished. Because this is pretty lengthy. and it is part of the experience. So that means I have to filter this out, and then I'm just going to use the wrench, because when I do that, it's going to output the stuff there. It's still going to need andesite alloy, and when you do that, it should be able to filter out, and it should go right back into the machines, as you can see, the saplings. It's sort of like a very functional system, because it kind of recycles the tree. Because I want to see if this tree is going to cut down. There we go. Then we just replant the tree. There we go. It's always going to get replanted. And you can also see it's kind of filtering in. I'm not sure why this is not, being outputted. I think that might be the issue. Maybe I should only keep it all in the chest. Maybe just keep it mostly in the chest. Because if I have maybe like one, I'm just seeing like the possibilities here. Because of course, because if this connects, that means how is it going to, I'm really just trying to run some tests here to see how this works. Because if it keeps going to like the first one, because I don't want that to go to the first one. Because that's going to be an issue unless I have to like make like another one where it like outputs to like into this unit here. Like I could possibly make it do that. Make it output into that unit, and then it just, still sends the wood over. So let me check. Because the wood should at least be going there. And if you want the stuff to be processed, it has to go through this as it go through this process. The whole sending of the info. See, it has to process, has to get cut through. But there should be like a buffer somewhere though. It does feel like I do need to add like a buffer. Like it feels like I need to add a buffer. Like this part feels like it needs a buffer. Like completely. It genuinely does. And then I might have to make like another vault, so it's like 2 vaults. Or probably make it like a maybe like a 4, maybe like a 4. Might try to make it like to a 4-4 or something. I want to see what I can do. Okay, then I'm just going to add 2 more. This just going to make it like a bigger vault. And then I add that. So what's going to happen is it's going to be a bigger vault. Bigger vault, meaning you probably have more inputs and outputs. And we should also install a buffer. Because all these are single pieces of logs. So this wouldn't necessarily mean I would have to, like, I would still have to, like, it definitely needs a buffer. I think that's all I can say. It genuinely needs a buffer. See, if I do it this way, it's a mess. It leads to a mess. And what's held in here is probably not the right stuff. Unless I gotta update this where it also clears out It clears out wood too, because we probably don't want wood in there, or we probably want the wood to come out. I'm saying this could be very messy. This can be very messy if you're not careful. So I'm thinking about adding a buffer. Because if I add a buffer, which means I might get some more plates. I may have to add some more plates. I might have to make some more. Because if I really want to make a buffer, if I really do, okay. Because see, once this stuff enters, this is where the trees and the sticks is gonna go. For the wood, I would have to try to space it out where, or somehow add like a buffer in between. Because it would make sense to add a buffer when it comes down to holding all that wood, because we probably wanted to do it in one sitting. If you do it like one by one by one, you're getting one by one. But I'm just looking at it like in a different way. Because say for example, I probably just want to hold all of it in one area, and it just released only stacks instead of one by one. I could probably do that. But this would make this setup more sophisticating though. Because if this is going to be the buffer, it would mean it would have to... Yeah, this definitely going to play with space though. Because it seems like the only thing we have is, you know, the... I don't know if we actually need that. Because if I just keep it simple, like just keep it simple and all you just need is a lot of andesite alloy, it just does one by ones. Because eventually over time, I could try to filter it out, but I think this is intentional. Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. I think that was fine the way it was. So now I have to fix it back. Because right now it's holding the wrong items. Because I'm not sure if it's like pulling stuff out. Okay. So it seems like it's not pulling anything out. Let me see if I can try to pull out some logs. Oh no. Because it's already what? Sending it over. There we go. So we're getting a lot more of those saplings though, which is a very good sign. Because with these saplings, I could probably make some more cardboard armor. And I think that's probably my final goal of the entirety of this playthrough though. Like, just to be honest. Because once I do that, then I can successfully say I made something interesting. But I know there's going to be a lot of building. Like, you can actually see, like, there's just a lot of holes and things like that. But it's been a very long time that I've been on here, though. But luckily, I have decided to come back to see what my mind is thinking. So right now, you can see, like, this is what you see. I might just take a screenshot of this to probably show, like, this is like in an entirely different system, you know, just in case. All right. So now that we've done that, so let's go check the chest just to see what's happening there. Because I'm supposed to be doing something here, and you can see that we have some flax. But it is going at a very slow rate. We could try to automate this if we want to, but I think more of those sales, the better. And I might as well just do a lot of waiting off camera just to let the results kick in. But I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is try to make the cardboard armor or the cardboard sets. Might just use some of the saplings or just cut down a few trees. Because I'm very eager to make that suit or that set. Whatever the case may be. So let me just put just about everything away. I need my mining drill and my storage. But I'm just going to look at what I need. Because what I'm going to do is make some... Where is this water bucket? Because I know I gotta put through a mixer. I know I have like multiple mixers, but I think it's made for like particular things. So if I have like jungle wood, toss it in there. This is gonna give me pulp. Okay, then I can get some more water and do it again. So that's like 5 right there. It seems like I can hear skeletons. This is kind of dangerous because it's like, I don't know if there's like they're like hiding somewhere. Okay, there's still some more pulp here. It does make me feel like, have I like made any other armor pieces? Okay. So now that we have cardboard helmet, cardboard chest plate, cardboard leggings. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So all we just need is like a few more pieces, and then we got ourselves the full cardboard set. That'd be very cool. It'd be kind of like the coolest thing I've basically made so far. Just one more. So I gotta find like... This is gonna be very interesting, just to see how I look when wearing cardboard. I might have to update the thumbnail. Yeah, I might have to do that. Let's see. Because I know we have some more. And I think I'm gonna have like a lot more plans when it comes down to this stuff. Once I wear the cardboard set. It's gonna be interesting. But I want to see if I can actually enchant cardboard. Okay. Final piece. Now let's make the boots. So all we gotta do is equip this. Full stealth. Now we can literally just hide as a box. It's kind of cool. But interesting how we can literally curl into a box. Let me just go to sleep. I'm not sure if it takes... Ooh. Okay. That was close. I was not expecting a creeper. And I'm also looking at the armor. I know the armor is not good armor. I know that is not good armor. But I was not expecting a creeper. Well, let me see if we can enchant this, though. Oh, so you can actually enchant cardboard. But this is definitely going to be a totally interesting thumbnail, though. Just need a stack of this, and then I can begin enchanting my cardboard armor. But I think I should also enchant my netherite armor. But I'm not sure because of other reasons. So let me just take this off and put this on. It seems like it allows like very like standard enchantments, but it's still quite interesting that we can literally just crawl around the box. So I would say we have basically done a lot today. And as you can see, we can now be morphed into a box because it technically happened. And I think it also helps us to hide from the Enderman too. So now we have basically cardboard armor. But I think everything else should be functional. Because as long as the tree grows, this is automated, this continues. This one has logic gates. This is going to make this is going to produce a lot of stripped logs, in which the stripped logs can be recycled and reused to make to make even more useful materials. And I know we have iron. I'll just make one more stop, and then once I do that, then I can conclude everything here. Because right now, I know that the andesite farm is being very efficient. See, yep, so we can still keep getting andesite. I know we can use cobblestone, but I would say this process is still highly efficient. So let's just return back to the laboratory and we can just conclude our run here. So I'm just going to say, if you guys enjoyed this playthrough, then I am very thankful for your time, because we have successfully made the cardboard armor, and we also did some upgrades to our farm. So now we're able to use wind energy, but the only downside is we're still going to have to try to grow these crops a little more effectively, because this is like the slowest turning rate, and I would have to maybe get some more bone meal or make the system somehow function a lot more efficiently to maybe give me some bone meal, and I can try to grow this a little effectively. I'm not sure if there's like a way to grow this more effectively, since it's best to use nature. Just let time do the work. But you can see it is picking up some flax seeds, and then I might have to try to move the flax seeds to like a crusher, and then it gets crushed, and everything else gets converted into like crates of carrots and crates of potatoes, and then that's going to be an everlasting food supply. So right now you can see that we're working with a very slow soil, but eventually it's going to build up over time once I, tend back to this world. But until then, I'll see you guys next time with another playthrough on the Monulite SMP experience with me, Key Devi, the Mindful Scientist.